Hi, it's Marilyn. Today I'm going to tell you what most people would never be willing to tell you about yourself. The impression you're making based on your written communication. It only takes a subtle shift to make a positive impression. No matter how brilliant a writer you are, no matter how successful you've become, your written communication speaks volumes. Anything in writing is amplified. That means if you annoy someone in writing, you annoy them much bigger than if you said it out loud. Write words of encouragement, they may hold on to that note for years. Lash out, and it may take years to recover that relationship. Some business relationships don't recover. I work with a lot of busy people. When I tell them how significant a random email or Post-it note can be, I get that look. It's such a small thing. Well, so is a fly buzzing around your food. Small things can be annoying. You could be annoying potential clients, colleagues, and friends without even knowing it. I bet at one time or another you've been part of a conversation where a small group of people were talking about that mutual acquaintance. Her Facebook posts are so overly promotional. She only writes about herself on Twitter. Man, she's moody today. Did you see her curt email reply all in caps? Everybody sees it, but they don't say anything to the person doing it. Could there be things that are annoying your clients? One of my corporate clients had a hater who was really verbal on social media. We crafted a soothing response that showed care and gave direction. The result? The ranting customer apologized for her outburst and directed her rage in a more productive way. Here's the good news. It only takes a small shift in awareness to make your written words make a more positive impression. After you write an email or any kind of response, ask yourself, does this move the conversation forward in a positive direction? Is what I'm writing truthful, useful, kind, and unifying? That's so important, I'm going to say it again. Write only what's truthful, useful, kind, and unifying. Anything in writing is amplified. When my son was in middle school, his class had an overnight retreat. Every parent was asked to write a letter of acknowledgement to their child. That night, all the kids were given their letters. Some of the biggest, toughest kids who you'd think would see this as a silly activity had tears streaming from their eyes as they read their letters. Anything in writing is amplified. When it comes to business, no one says they get too much positive attention. Not clients, not employees, not vendors. But ask how many receive cold, prickly notes. Everybody raises their hand. You know, there was one boy in my son's class whose parents refused to write a note. He was the only kid in the class without a letter from his parents. The teacher gave him one, but it just wasn't the same. Those parents weren't bad people. They just didn't understand what was lost by not giving that written acknowledgement. It probably made them uncomfortable. Does it make you uncomfortable to give written acknowledgements? What would it mean to the people in your life if you were generous in giving positive feedback in written formats? There are times you shouldn't put things in writing. If you're sending a cold, prickly note and the reason is because you don't feel like dealing with the conflict, if you're trying to avoid, you're amplifying. It's like throwing a boomerang and having it come back when you least expect it, only harder and faster. Everything you put in writing amplifies. Okay, so we've been talking for less than 5 minutes, and this is the kind of shift that's all you might need to go out there and completely transform your communication in writing. If you want to dive deeper, though, and when people are committed to mastery and excellence, they often want to dive deep into areas that can make a significant difference. You can ask a friend or trusted colleague to tell you how you occur in writing. You could read books, take workshops, or work with a coach. Working with a coach is great because they will be willing to tell you what a friend may not, so you aren't leaving money on the table or opportunities in the dust.